Age of Empires 2 has sucked me in again. The digital artifact I've created is centered around my own ideas and analysis into why after 21 years the game is still managing to build its community. My idea around Age of Empires 2 is that its continued success is due to a variety of elements, a mix of ideas conceptualized in the past as well as an adaptation to the modern social environment of games. This adaptation to the modern age is explored upon my framework of paratext and the utilization of the modern internet to build and keep a community around the game, as well as a fundamental foundation in the elements of play, generated from inspiration through predecessors in board games, as well as an in-depth correlation with the military complex. Lastly, its unique spot in history, as analysed through media archaeology, reveals an unlikely team of developers who were able to develop foresight and develop a uniquely successful game. Throughout these projects, I've been building these frameworks through a variety of content through blogs, journaling, streaming, and multimedia content. The first analytical framework is paratext analysis, investigating how paratexts have helped shape the community and keep the game alive throughout these years. Paratexts make up all the content shared and created around the game. They're a crucial part of Age of Empires 2's continuous success, and the impact of them on the community is very far-bearing. In an earlier blog, which I conducted a paratext analysis, I delved into the facts games are not played in a vacuum, and this social element has kept the community alive. If you delve into the timeline of the game, it is clear once the Age of Empires 2 servers were shut down forever in 2006, the community would most likely die out. However, early internet forums and sites hosted the earliest form of paratext around this game, which was the battle log. It becomes clear that the social element was building. It was this which helped reclaim old players, but also opened the door for new players. We are currently at the pinnacle for Age of Empires 2 engagement, and I posit it is not a coincidence that both paratext creation and playership have risen together. Today you find paratext surrounding Age of Empires 2 flooding the internet. Simply comparing it against Age of Empires 1 and the later Age of Empires 3, we see that neither of these games have the following or paratext creation as Age of Empires 2. The developers have understood this and have allowed for a third-party capture age programs to come with the game instantly, allowing a large range of tools fundamentally in capturing video, allowing for the sharing of games, streaming, esports, and also the creating of machinima. A comparative analysis between the biggest esports competition for Age of Empires 3 years ago and this year's shows the development in the sharing of paratext, the tools, and the community that have come along with it. Media archaeology. It's important not to view the history as being set in stone whilst undertaking media archaeology, as it's often in the unlikely events that the most can be learned. The history of Ensemble Studios, originally set up as a computer finance developing firm, is filled with unlikely events. Age of Empires rose through the ranks to be one of the leading RTS games when the market was flooded with this genre. When gathering an understanding of the unique history of the Ensemble team, I understood the passion and foresight they developed, which would be key in the game's success. A few notable events which played a huge role in securing its spot in history include bringing on games developer Bruce Shelley. One incredible piece of media archaeology is to study the relationship between the founder of Ensemble Studios, Tony Goodman, and Ensemble game designer Bruce Shelley. During their junior years of college, they were part of a historical simulation society together. Bruce Shelley went on to be the co-designer of Sid Meier's, which was an extremely popular RTS game. It was after that Tony poached him to be the lead developer of Age of Empires 2. Bruce's foresight is shown in this quote. "We looked at Command & Conquer and Warcraft and Civilization, and we made a list of what they were doing well. He said, we're going to do what they are doing better, and what they are not doing is our opportunity." Further, by having already released AoE 1, they were able to channel that into a sequel with the experience of already developing one game, as described by Paul Bettner. There's all these things we wished we had gotten into that game, so everyone was just dying to make a sequel. There were plenty other examples of the unique media archaeology that formed the Ensemble's game teams, and I covered these in my blogs. This led to their Magna Carta, which is Age of Empires 2. However, I think the two elements of foresight and passion played a humongous role in the game's success. Connection to board games and the military complex. Although there's been some expansion on the fundamentals of Age of Empires 2 since its release in 1999, it has remained almost the same game. It is these fundamentals, buried in connections to board games and the military complex, which have created a timeless game with unlimited potential for interpretation, strategies, and execution. Through this adaptation to the modern age and enabling of paratext sharing, Age of Empires 2 has been growing and becoming more healthy as a community, which is constantly reinterpreting elements of the game. The fundamental foundation in the elements of play, generated from inspiration from its predecessors in board games, as well as an in-depth correlation to the military complex, have created a timeless strategy game along the lines of chess or battleship. Lastly, its spot in history, as analysed through media archaeology, helped mould the game through to be unique and paralleled to other games in the genre. Continuing this project is something I will most likely do, as it has sucked me into not only the game, but also the community and the history. This game could be analysed in many more frameworks, and there are a lot of other elements which has helped build this success, not just the frameworks I touched on. Thank you.